Welcome to Retirement Ramblings. I'm Scott, and today is day 332 in my countdown to retirement. So today, I started off the day and I received a formal notification from our CEO regarding organizational changes that are underway across the globe with senior leaders' departures and promotions, and then calling into question who I'll end up working for, which will be shared with me, I guess, over the next couple of weeks. But until then, I'm in limbo and continue to work for my current manager doing my current role. So we'll see how that pans out. I've spent most of the day finishing all of my monthly cloud billing activities since it's the first business day of the new month. Then I had a meeting. Well, I sent out the updates, and then got called by our SVP of North American Engineering, and I spent about 45 minutes with him explaining how cloud billing works and why, even though technically no services have changed month over month, why bills aren't the same cost every month, which, kind of just the high points would be the number of hours in a month are different. So you get charged for the actual number of hours that you're processing. There's different discounts that are applicable. There's networking costs depending on how much data you move. So there's a variety of things that I spent time going over with him. But by the end of the call, he seemed pretty clear on what the reasons are, so he can use that to model, what he's trying to do. Then once that call was over, I called my sister, check in on her and see how her birthday celebration went. I had sent her an Amazon gift card, just as a token of appreciation for her and wishing her, good birthday wishes. And then we got talking for like about an hour about everything from dog training to how the celebrations went, and then a variety of other things about people on their cell phone when you're at an actual celebration, and how those conversations make the person who's actually the center of attention feel less special. So we got into all of those kinds of conversations. Anyhow, after that, that took till the end of the day, and then I logged in, to check my portfolio and see how that fared following, the tariff threat that was supposed to start tonight at midnight with regard to Mexico, Canada, and China. And as it turned out, given that, as it turned out, obviously Trump decided to postpone after talking with Trudeau in Canada, and the president of Mexico decided to delay the implementation of tariffs by 30 days based on some commitments that each country made to the U.S. But the Chinese tariffs are still supposed to go into effect, I believe it at midnight Eastern tonight. Anyhow, it was interesting to me to see how the market reacted. I mean, first thing this morning when the market opened, it dropped like a brick. I want to say, the Nasdaq was down more than 3%. Actually, most of the indexes were down significantly. I know when I looked at my portfolio, I was hemorrhaging, so it wasn't a good feeling to start the day. But I wasn't going to do anything, so I just let it play itself out. And then what I found out at the end of the day when I logged in to check all the various numbers was, if you own something that really wasn't necessarily impacted by tariffs, or at least the proposed tariffs that he's put forth so far, that those stocks actually ended up for the day. So as an example, in communication services, you had AT&T and Verizon both up. The surprise for me was some of the energy providers, given that he was going to basically put a tariff on Canadian crude, which represents about 60% of our imported oil production, and how that would impact, you know, refiners, pipelines, as well as exploration companies. Anyway, as it turns out, all three of those categories, so enterprise product partners for pipelines, Marathon Petroleum for refiners, and EOG Resources for drillers, all ended the day up, which was pretty significant surprise to me. Healthcare also ended up being up. So the managed care like Humana was up, AbbVie was up based on strong results. Off-price retailers like TJ Maxx or TJX companies, I guess, were up because thinking that other companies who were importing goods from China might have to, um, reduce their holdings in apparel, and TJX could therefore pick those apparel items up at more discounted pricing, apparently drove the price of the stock up. And then financials like Charles Schwab were up today as well. And then I was really surprised to see any technology up. So Amazon ended up being up today, presumably because the tariffs were going to hurt companies like Temu and Shine, who were able to leverage that loophole of no tariffs initially being able to be applied to anything under $800 a day, but Trump was going to stop that loophole from existing, and so presumably that would benefit Amazon. I'm not really sure if it will or not, but I think that was the thinking. And then Oracle, presumably because a large percentage of their compute power is in the U.S., even though they have data centers globally. Presumably, you know, it it was going to still be able to grow at a sizable rate. And the thing that also ended up being really surprising me was the Dow Jones Industrial Average, I should say, um, ended up being up, slightly because it was down significantly at the start of the day. So apparently the Dow 30, you know, wouldn't be as impacted necessarily, I guess, versus the S&P and the Nasdaq and the Russell as other, as those index would, because they were all down, but it ended up eking out a very nominal um, gain. Anyway, I ended up the day up marginally 0.1% after, like I said, starting the day way down. So, that was at least a positive surprise. Um, as I said, I'm not taking any actions right now with regard to, the tariff situation, buying and selling and what have you. But I am curious um, if you're going to try and take advantage of the increased volatility, um, you know, in the market, as well as the general uncertainty, and try to make some profitable moves in a trading environment versus an investing environment, going forward. So if you would let me know that in the comment section down below if you plan to take any specific moves specifically because of tariffs. I'd love to hear from you about that. So anyway, that was my day. Nothing spectacular, but that's the update. If you have any questions, any comments, please drop them in the comment section down below, or you can send me an email at myretirementramblings@gmail.com. Otherwise, I hope you have a great evening and take care. Look forward to talking with you tomorrow. Have a good night.